All right, everyone, welcome to ZSR. We've got a link to the past, no major glitches match for you guys. It's a Dark World round 3 with RequiemOfSpirit versus Spleebie. On comms today, we've got Chex Human and Foxlisk. How's it going, guys?
It's going good. How are you doing, Chex?
Good. Hello,
Not too
Fox.
bad. I'm gonna get the runners going and leave you guys to it.
Thank you.
Thanks for handling all the restream stuff for us. I'm looking forward to this one.
That's right. We've got RequiemOfSpirit versus Spleebie, and I'm also looking forward to this race. It's the NMG League. This is the Dark World, right, Fox?
I hope so. That's what they just said on stream, right?
Yeah. And we are racing A Link to the Past, any percent, no major glitches. And we know what major glitches are, but what does no mean?
No is the concept of believing something that is also true, I think.
Believing something that is also true. All right. So that means we're playing Zelda like an optimized playthrough, right?
That is what it means, yeah.
Okay. Just making sure.
Yeah, this game has a lot of major glitches, as you, of course, are well acquainted with. And hold on a sec.
Holding. Meanwhile, our runners are off. We've got Link jumping out of bed, awoken by both his uncle, who has left in the night, and Zelda, who has spoken to him telepathically, calling for help.
Probably no connection, though, right? Do you think they know each other, the uncle and Zelda?
You know, maybe they have met in the past, but no relation, I'm assuming.
Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, and we've got a gamble going. Let's go. Which horse are you backing today, Chex?
Oh my gosh, I haven't even thought about it. Well, we have Requiem on the left. Requiem is, I would say, a newer Link to the Past runner compared to Spleebie, who's been playing a lot of randomizer since he began some years ago. But Requiem rose quickly to the top ranks, so he might be hard to beat.
Requiem has a very different style than Spleebie.
That's true.
Requiem is a practice monster. He likes to do long periods of practice only and then reset excessively when he actually tries to do PB attempts, whereas Spleebie is not a big fan of practice and likes to do a lot of no reset runs. So kind of opposite play styles, I think.
Yeah, you're right. And I don't know their PVs offhand, but I assume that they are separated by a minute and a half or so.
I think it's a little less than that.
Less than that. Gotcha.
Yeah. It's like a little under a minute, I think, or a little over.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean a whole lot with such different play styles. So I don't know how their race will go.
Yeah. It's definitely well within, just somebody playing better or having a disaster or something like that.
Definitely.
Both players 8 slashing ball and chain.
And Spleebie with the still boomerang.
Oh, nice. I don't know what causes that, but I love it.
I don't remember exactly, but surely it has to do with the boomerang being in midair when collecting the big key. So there may be some other condition.
Yeah. Spleebie also just walked straight into that guard. I wonder if he was unable to throw his boomerang because it was floating on the other side of the room.
I don't know the answer to that. But if it were me, I would also walk into him, just maybe
Just for
race
fun.
nerves or, but that would be that, that's a different story. So, yeah, our runners are backtracking, returning to the back of escape.
Spleebie telling us he did press Y and didn't get a boomerang, so that makes sense. Yeah, they both are walking into guards in the hallway. They both got through ball and chain without taking a hit, so they don't really have anything to worry about. Sometimes you get really beat up in ball and chain and have to be a little scared, but both going to be totally fine. Looks like, well, my streams aren't perfectly synced, so I can't really tell exactly how they are compared right now, but very close.
Yeah, 2 hearts. It's not anything to worry about. We've got enemies that deal 1/2 and 1/4 of a heart of damage.
Right. When I was a kid, I think this was so long ago, but I think that I suspected that there was quarter heart damage, but I never had the patience to actually really test it, and so it was always slightly a mystery to me.
And we have 1/8 damage as well. But that requires...
I don't think it's possible to take that in the vanilla game, is it?
Yeah, I think it is.
Really?
It just requires a male upgrade.
Huh. Okay. Requiem getting sort of average. Keyrat luck. Spleebie getting very similar RNG.
Yeah.
No difference there. Spleebie has a display capture. I don't think that's being captured on the restream. I think it's off screen, but you can see him pumping as hard as he can, save frames. Requiem is going to save almost 2 seconds on text lag during this cutscene because he's using cheater hardware.
NES Classic, that's right. And you and Requiem both worked on this mashing sequence to time that out.
Just testing it yesterday. It looks like it saves about 100 frames on lag on this text here.
And we have a couple of lag reduction strats, or not even strats, but just conditions. One is walking in with 1 heart or less Inkroy frames, and the other is rat frames, or sank push, as FSG called it. And do those strats work on SNES Classic?
No, they don't do anything. You just get the maximum amount of lag saving without doing anything.
Right.
Really friendly Octorok field from Requiem. Screen can be a huge pain if things like that happen to you. Okay, that one
very bad
maybe
luck.
We had a little more control over. Oh, RequiemOfSpirit getting pretty annoying RNG on that Armos and Octorok combo there. I think he went for a free boom and missed it. Spleebie getting similar RNG, slightly too early on the slash. So his slash hit the Octorok, and then it was over before the Armos finished activating. The screen is really annoying. So yeah, we didn't really talk about it that much, but Escape is very much about... There's not really much going on except for having good movement. You can pump some to save frames here and there, but mostly it's just like getting through the rooms cleanly, not wasting movement, not nudging and rubbing against stuff. Eastern is still a lot like that, but there's more rooms like the Stalfos one that Spleebie is doing, where you have sort of a little bit of tech going on, a little bit of tricky strats.
And it is okay to nudge and rub against stuff, but not corners, doors, and thin frames, things like that.
It's complicated.
Yeah, complicated. And I didn't even say that correctly about corners, because you definitely want to touch corners when you need to go around them.
Right, you just don't want to hold cardinals into them.
You don't want cardinal into them. Right.
Requiem coming up on probably the most dangerous room in the early game. If this goes wrong, you can have a Mat 7898 experience. But getting through it very cleanly.
Phew.
Both players getting pretty good deboosts also. Nice work. Spleebie hoping for a rupee drop there. I have not been watching the drops to see if he is on the red or something. He already has 6 rupees, so he's not really worried about anything. But if you get a lot of rupees in Eastern, it can sometimes help. Nice chess turn. Nice W.
Spleebie's so good with chess turns.
Yeah. He's a big chess turner.
Yeah.
Anti-Fairy is not touching on Requiem's side. Love to see it.
So, in addition to the big key room, we have the back of Eastern, which is pretty notorious for being an early reset point.
Mm-hmm.
And we have Spleebie at 1 heart left, meaning he cannot touch any red Igor.
Oh, his drops. Yeah, played it a little safe on those Igors. I don't know if he just always does that, or if that was because he knows he's in a race at 1 heart. But definitely a very safe way to do that.
Requiem goes for 5 right, and so does Spleebie. Spleebie misses an arrow. Requiem, on the other hand, only has 1 in his quiver.
Yeah, that's not great. I expect he'll pick up an extra pot in Desert. Spleebie's going to be really good on arrows. You get 20 arrows, like, more or less for free in Desert, and you shoot a sort of unknown quantity of them into the boss at the end. And you need a bunch of arrows after Desert. So Spleebie will go into Landmo, the boss, with 28 arrows, which should be plenty. And Requiem will be going in with 21 if he doesn't grab anything, which would mean he'd need to do he would need to waste like very, very few arrows on the boss. So I figure he'll be grabbing a pot somewhere, an extra pot. TAM 216 spin speed!
Retrying spin speed is pretty costly, but it is helpful that Spleebie got it. It saves a good chunk of time.
It saves a lot on that screen. These ones, the rest of the ones in Desert, save fairly moderate amounts of time.
Yeah, less than a second.
But the first one is huge.
Right.
Requiem not going for unholy spin speed. Looks like Spleebie won't be either. Does nail the one leaving Desert. Very good. Or leaving Library, I mean.
Okay. Spleebie
Oh,
left.
wow.
Oh my
Requiem.
gosh. A melee with an archer.
Yeah.
All right, so we got the book menu for Requiem, judging his movement so that he doesn't splash through the water. Looked like Spleebie made it through just fine as well. Switches at the next screen. 2 screens over.
hopefully Spleebie can manage to read the tablet only once today.
There was a PB of Spleebies that did have the multiple rotating statues.
That was pretty classic. Requiem going for kind of a slower strat on killing that devil ant. I don't know if he always does that or just really wanted a rupee today. Spleebie also doing the same thing. All right.
Mm-hmm.
This cannonball room is I hate it. Oh, that red rupee's not even close to worth it. Come on. Requiem getting the good RNG. It's technically not RNG, but he gets the good pattern there. Gets to just dash up and down. Spleebie, trying for a hero frame rule, not getting it.
Dang,
Has to,
nice try.
Yeah, it was pretty close. There's a lot of patterns where you have a pretty good chance of frame ruling the cannonballs if you're fast enough. I think it was fine to try that one, but didn't get it.
I didn't realize that was a frame rule pattern. I must have done that recently because I felt like I had never beat that pattern before.
Whoa!
Oh.
How did he get 2?
Yeah, I think I've seen that before.
Another chest turn. Yeah, there's a bunch where you like can't technically quite beat the cannonballs, but you have a 3 and 4 chance of getting past them for 1 frame. Because of how collision works, is only checked on every 4th frame. That's not quite accurate, but it's pretty close. Ooh, okay. Spleebie paused a little too early and decided not to try to be a hero about it. I think that was the right decision in a race.
Good call.
Requiem getting blasted by a laser. He's actually a little bit low on health here. You shouldn't really take 3 damage on Landmo, but I happen to know that Requiem has died on Landmo recently, so he might be a little nervous.
Requiem going for arrows. Escapes damage at the Igor. Avoids it, rather. Move the torches for Spleebie. All right, so we've got Requiem at the Landmo fight. Looks like 1 shot each worm. First phase. Nice kill on the second.
See. Oh no, it's synchronizing. Okay. Oh, Spleebie slightly mistiming a couple shots there.
It's a tough fight. That takes so much practice to nail
this fight
it.
Is super hard. I think those were the same number of cycles for both players. But I don't want to say what my guess as to the actual number was out loud in case it's embarrassingly wrong.
So I didn't get the counts, but they weren't the best fights, but they weren't the worst.
Yeah, no, totally fine.
And compared to Spleebie's PB, he's quite a bit ahead.
Requiem is also very slightly ahead of his PB. Requiem going for a pretty... Whoa. Alright, nice double. Okay. Well, all that stuff just happened. That's great.
Yeah, I missed it, but okay, so this is basically the most dangerous part of the race. Not really, but
it would be if it were...
It could be disqualifying in terms of speedrun submissions. But it went well. There was no lock. We got the fake flippers. All right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, both of our runners switched to boomerang, by the way, which is
nice,
pretty funny.
Boomers.
And you mentioned a
Requiem got
double.
mad usage out of it. Yeah, he got really paid off for that switch. Spleebie, I didn't notice if he got any usage out of it. It's free to do, and then sometimes it's really useful. So some runners go for it. Some runners don't bother. It's like really marginal, but I don't know. Personally, I just think it's really cool, so I do it.
Same.
This screen is probably the worst screen in the game. People don't tend to say it when they are picking worst screens in the game, but I think it's really high up there.
Yeah, absolutely. And Requiem's just getting knocked around and not getting the spin speed, which is frustrating because it saves so much time. Why not just retry it and get it?
First
Problem. Yeah. Good. So Spleebie is coming out ahead here by quite a bit.
Yeah, that one way smoother for Spleebie.
Although, you know, it's all one screen. So Spleebie enters Hera first. It's another dangerous part of this segment due to Moldorms and even Gadongos just getting in your way and ruining.
As we see right there.
There it is. Damage from Gadongo fire. And then, yeah. So we have tile room. It looks like we have no boomerang strat here for our runners.
No, pot spin speed though. Requiem.
Yeah, we have pot spin speed. An important minor glitch.
I would also say that Hera Tile Room is arguably the worst room in the game on account of being the maximally boring room.
Yeah, I would agree with that judgment call as well.
Beetles, this is another really tough room. Hera is a very, very, very difficult split. It has a lot of rooms that are difficult. Technically, it has a lot of RNG, both in the form of boulders and in the form of enemy RNG. I guess boulders are kind of enemies, but you know. And then at the top we have Moldorm, which is a very, very difficult boss to learn how to handle, and even more difficult to learn how to handle fast. So really just like a huge number of screens in this split can just really mess you up.
Then the Hera bomb jump is another important trick. Spleebie gets it fast with a spin setup, and Requiem
nice
also going
clip
for the spin. What did you say?
Nice rail clip on Spleebie to get past the fire.
Ah, yeah.
Did Spleebie get the chest turn?
Yes.
Nice. I didn't see it.
That's 3 for 3 big chests.
Amazing. Good first hit from Spleebie. It's a pretty good fight so far from him. Moldorm going on the left is never what you want to see. It's a lot more difficult to hit him over there. Oh, Requiem. Okay, yeah. That was very unsafe. Okay. I would not have trusted that dash along the pit. But Requiem got through it just fine. So this whole split has gone really a lot better for Spleebie than for Requiem. But let's hope that we only see the second Moldorm fight here and not anymore. Ugh!
Yikes.
Help! It's too late. Okay. Whew.
It's so frustrating when Moldorm gets out of control. But when he traps himself, you do want to lure him out. I just don't know the strategy to really make that safe.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not that good at Moldorm, really. Like, I think really only a couple people are. Spleebie, okay, well that worked out fine. He was at risk of not killing that bird correctly, but then he had to for other reasons anyway. You know what I mean, right?
So we're working on 3 rupees,
Right.
and we cannot get hit. We have to make sure we kill all 4 enemies, at least, on screen.
Right.
To,
It's the
make
on-screen
them
part
count.
that I was slightly worried about. It's
Yeah.
possible, depending on how you are lined up when you dash into that screen, it's possible to kill the bird and have it scroll off screen right before it finishes dying. And you see Requiem there wiggled a little bit. That's to enter the screen very high to make sure that that won't happen to him. But then he also was misaligned and had to adjust and would have been fine either way. Avoiding the mushroom, impossible tech.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen any league races with the mushroom in anyone's inventory, but I have seen it recently. Perhaps in Foxlisk's stream.
Hey, listen, it was one time.
All right, so Spleebie comes out ahead. It wasn't just the Death Mountain overworld that where Requiem fell behind, but also the Moldorm fight.
Quite literally fell behind, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Spleebie going for the
Right.
potentially slightly faster strat in Haralabi.
Yeah. There are 3 decent strats, and that one is kind of dangerous.
Yeah. Worked out though. Aga Tower is really fun, but also very frustrating. There's a lot of enemy combat rooms. Oh, that's not good for Spleebie.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's a bunch of rooms that are tricky just execution wise, and then a bunch of rooms where there's a lot of RNGs you have to learn to deal with as well. It's very, very skill testing, which means that it's very easy to mess it up and then get frustrated.
Spleebie preserves his prize pack.
Yeah, that's very important. He won't have beams to work with, and the normal strat for that room involves beams. Nice half chest turn. Appreciate that. But he did manage the most important part of that room, which is preserving your fairy for later. Requiem getting through that room with the strat going as intended. Dark World is just the name of the division, so there's 3 groups of players: the Dark World, the Light World, and Rain State. Dark World is the top 16 players, and round 3 is just round 3.
The 3rd week.
Oh wow, that aggro. That guy almost never ends up going down that lane there.
Nice red alert for Spleebie on the Circle of Pots.
Yeah, it looks like after that issue in the double ball and chain room, he seems to have been having a good tower after that.
We see Spleebie using some minor time saves, like walking up the stairs to keep Link from slowing down. That was a funny boomerang.
Boomerang into the door for fun, I guess. So how many blue balls does Spleebie need to get to make up this difference here?
I don't know.
9 or
5?
something? Oh, I think it's more than 5.
Yeah, I have no idea. Any so far? I'm not counting. There's one.
Oh, I'm not even looking at it.
Yeah, I also forgot to guess in Spleebie's stream to win on
Oh
the blue
no.
ball guessing game leaderboard.
It's rigged. His wife always
It's
wins.
rigged. Second blue for Spleebie. 3. Four.
So according to their splits, Spleebie is about 42 seconds ahead entering the Aghanim fight, which is 7 cycles, which is not exactly the same as 7 blue balls, but it's roughly. So he got 4, so he's still going to be ahead even if Requiem gets really good RNG, but we'll see if we can close the gap at all.
At least 3 for Requiem.
All right, well, maybe, just get wrecked, Requiem. Just not your day. Pack it in. There's no the run's over. Nothing can happen in the last hour.
Well, Requiem appears to save 6 seconds on blue ball RNG. All right, we're into the dark world in the game now, not just in the bracket. So this is a ramp up in terms of both damage, but also challenge, difficulty level.
Yeah.
We are entering Battles of Darkness, and there's a difficult trick coming up, the hammer jump. What's your favorite screen in Battles of Darkness, Fox?
Helmasaur, I guess. Helmasaur's a really fun fight. I don't know. I like Pod pretty well. I know a lot of players really don't like it, but I think it's pretty fun. How do you feel? What do you think? What's your favorite part of it?
Yeah, I don't find it that fun. So why do you find it fun?
Yeah, I don't know. I think the back half of it is really got a bunch of cool rooms in a row. Sexy Statue is pretty fun to go for. Requiem getting that bad RNG and getting it right. Good job.
Very good.
Mimics rooms are always, they're challenging. Turtle Party is pretty fun to do, and Helmasaur is a really fun fight. And I kind of like Hammering Up. It's sort of absurd. It's so out of character with the rest of the run, but it's kind of fun to do, I think.
Yeah, that is all stuff that I need to practice if I want to get better. And those are pretty fun rooms now that I think about it. I really need to react better to the Turtle Party room. So we'll see how that goes for our runners.
Yeah, that's a pretty tough room. Yeah, shoutouts to 17-second cutscenes.
Mm-hmm.
Dao is one of the players who very much dislikes Pod. I think a lot of people dislike Hammer Jump or dislike Pod because it feels like the whole split is kind of about Hammer Jump, and that's kind of frustrating. Like if you mess up a little bit, you can end up losing atrocious amounts of time in this trick.
I feel that way, and I shouldn't focus on that while I'm mashing in the cutscene, but it's the one thing I think about every time. And
Spleebie making it through the rail.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, I was really worried when he didn't open that chest that he was going to mirror on autopilot.
Oh my gosh, that is a good point. Yeah.
Very nice. Just walking straight to the first pixel for Requiem. Oh, perfect hammer jump from Requiem.
Whew.
Nice work.
Excellent.
Okay. Will we get any sexy statues today? I feel like Spleebie goes for it. Maybe I'm wrong. Goes for it and does not get it because this is not going to hit the thing. Okay. Whew.
Yeah, Spleebie knows.
Yeah. Sexy statue is what we call it when you switch from pushing it right to pushing it up without like walking off of the statue, where you're just smoothly pushing it the whole time. I don't feel like Requiem is a sexy statue, or yeah.
It's pretty near a bullseye for Spleebie hitting the statue.
I didn't notice. The arrow had already despawned by the time you started saying that.
See how Requiem does. Wow. I would say even scores on that statue. Spleebie is slightly to the right. Requiem slightly to the left.
Why wouldn't you... Aren't you on grid? What inputs are you doing that you're not on grid every time there? I'm confused now. Maybe people are canceling their dashes with upright or something?
Maybe.
Spleebie... Okay, going for a few hammers before the spin speed there. Doing that spin dash at the beginning of this fight changes your hammer hitbox in a way that makes it much easier to hit Helmasaur.
Yeah, it turns it into a dashing hitbox.
Right.
If I understand correctly.
Yeah. And specifically while facing upward, the dashing hitbox is substantially bigger, or like it hits out way more in front of you than the hammer hitbox does, which is very weirdly and frustratingly positioned facing north.
Nice fight for Spleebie.
Requiem really trying to dive there. That was pretty greedy, but didn't really get that punished for it.
Yeah. Stayed in control.
So I think those were pretty similar pods, but who knows?
We have a crystal cutscene. We got to mash through it. And
I bet Requiem's saving time here too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, worth testing out. Gotta test it. See what's going on. And overall, this NES classic, it loses time because of its frame rate. Is that right, Fox?
That is what I've heard. Oh boy, Spleebie not starting his dash, but catching it and walking away from the bird.
Yeah, good dodge.
Yeah, so it looks like Requiem made up a little bit of time with a slightly better pod. I wasn't watching Spleebie's hammering up that closely, so maybe he had extra buffers there or something. I know Requiem had a really smooth hammer jump.
Yeah, I didn't count the buffers. So we have the Thieves Town segment. We have a long overworld. Spleebie collects the shovel. We'll see how many digs it takes to get the flute. Hopefully it's just one. There we go.
Good dig, RNG.
Mm-hmm. Easy every time.
Is that a quick warp? I don't know when
I don't think so, because I saw a pixel to the right of the statue that I don't usually see. So I think Requiem was slightly... Wait, now I don't remember. Never mind. I thought it was
I play
part
on
of
a
the right.
CRT, so I never know when things are quick warps.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, yeah. I was looking at the right edge of the screen, which is what I usually look at, and it appeared off to me. Looked like we had a flute dash for Spleebie, enabling him to dash as soon as the cutscene ended. Nice Three Musketeers.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That looked good.
That flute dash is really stressful. Requiem gets it too. Because you always, you're usually going to get it. Item dashes aren't that. But if you don't, you're going to walk left for like a tile and a half before you catch yourself, and you're going to feel real silly. Maybe that's just me.
Just don't miss it.
Oh, right. That's a good point. Spleebie diagonaling into a dash there. Oh boy. All right, buddy.
Huh. That did not catch my eye, but I'll let you be the one to scold him on that.
Yeah. Generally, you want to move cardinally into dashes to maximize the distance that you spend dashing instead of walking. So Thieves Town is I don't know, I think it's kind of boring.
Yeah. What? So say more.
Just Spleebie trying to tell me to shut up and dashes into a spike. It's just like really consistent, and I guess I don't find any of the rooms especially interesting strat-wise.
Yeah, it's a bit of a contrast from how you described Pod, which has some especially tricky rooms. This one, it's more about good movement, and we have the infamous Hellway here, but...
Nice try from Requiem on that item dash, but it did not actually work out in the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hellway is, as you say, infamous. There's one pixel where you can dash straight up. And you can land on that a pretty good fraction of the time if you practice it for a while, but even if you get it, you just are still at the mercy of RNG. Oh, wow, Requiem. I thought he was going to get hit by that guy, but he hit him first.
Nice. Yeah, these... Go ahead.
Well, Requiem just walked into another enemy, and
I'm
not really worried about him yet, but I'm getting close to being worried.
The Gibo?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna mention that. I always think about that guy now, because... Oh, nice arrows for Requiem. But yeah, I've started walking into it just because I'm kind of learning a new cue for that room.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of have to relearn it.
That's the problem with learning.
Mm-hmm.
The adjustment period is always very dangerous.
Oh, nice.
Nice hammer. Yeah.
Stair. Yeah. I didn't know what to call it. Stair room.
Conveyor toilet.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. That's conveyor toilet. All right, blind fight. Spleebie's 1/3 done with it already.
Blink and you'll miss it. Looks
Blink
like he's getting good RNG so far.
Yeah.
Clean fight. Requiem stopping for a heart, which is not inspiring confidence.
Uh-huh. He's spinning. Good. Okay, you got the hammer on the head. That's a good sign.
Right. All right, yeah, good fights. Both of them getting through the script just fine. That I think Spleebie had the better Thieves Town there. I didn't actually look at either of their catch times, so we'll find out in a minute, but it looked a little bit cleaner to me.
Yeah, I kept missing the damage that you were mentioning, but Hellway was a bit of a struggle for Requiem.
Right. Now we're doing our main side quest of the game, where we collect the technically nice chest turn. I see you. Where we collect the technically optimal tempered sword, but it is. I think I said optimal when I meant to say optional, but it's both. It does save a gigantic amount of time on the Ganon fight. And some time here and there, but really it comes down to the Ganon fight.
Yeah. Over a minute at least on Ganon.
Yeah.
And that's if you're really good at the low percent fight and get, a 2-minute screen time, which probably won't happen for beginners.
Right.
So
this is another part of the run where it's easy to forget where you are and accidentally drop off the smith and then leave and come back and drop off your sword and think you're done and dash away without a sword or something.
My favorite is when I return and I haven't paid them yet because I'm playing any percent RMG where I have less than 10 rupees.
7 rupees, yeah. Mm-hmm. Spleebie goes for fence dash, but looks like got 2 frames of movement there.
An honorable bonk.
Honorable bonk, yes.
And so we have Skullwoods. Pretty fun dungeon. Short and sweet in a way.
Yeah. It's got the mummy room, which is, a dishonorable non-bonk from Requiem.
I like it a lot more now that I know how to beat the boss. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Boss is a really big problem for a lot of players. I think it's a really fun fight, but it's super, super dangerous. And there's a lot to learn in there.
If it gets out of control, it's insanity out there.
Yeah. Hopefully we won't be seeing any phase 2 moths today. Clean mummies from Spleebie, by the way. Let's hope that they also go well for Requiem. Looks good. Playing it a little safe. No, that's okay. All right. I don't think the statue was far enough left the first time he stopped above it. So it's good that he went left and dragged it left.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that. 10.
Spleebie also, yeah, okay. Generally, you want to stay down on the slope on that movement there. I'm not sure why Spleebie went up high. But grabbing his ether so that he can enter Mire. Will these players converge when Requiem enters Mire?
I don't think so.
Why not?
Because I am wrong. They will converge.
Okay. You thought that Spleebie did something reasonable here. Which is an understandable mistake.
I refuse to believe you.
Okay. Reasonable.
And yet here he is without Ice Rod.
It is a little unclear, but I think that Requiem's swamp was better than Spleebie's by a little bit.
And yeah, I didn't follow that closely.
We'll check where they're at when they get to the torches.
So, Meyer is, like you said, Thieves Town is consistent. Meyer can be that way as well. The enemies
sure,
just
yeah.
don't really get in your way. You just learn how to do the rooms and you do them.
Right. Yeah,
But
there's a
it's
couple
especially
very
dangerous.
small places where they can cause problems, but for the most part, you're only losing like half a second or whatever. Unless you touch anything, and then you just sort of instantly get vaporized.
Yeah. Yep. Don't touch anything. Slugs, wizrobes, skull heads all do 4 hearts of damage.
Wait, are there skull heads in here?
Yes. The key.
Oh yeah. In Berry
Room.
Key.
Yeah, you can't mess around in that room, which you don't normally do, but
No, I remember that though, because when I was a newer runner, I would try to powder the anti-fairy.
Yeah,
and
powdering. Yeah,
the skeleton heads are really dangerous when you're doing that.
Yeah, and when you're new, you don't really have a powder strat for that room. You just kind of chase the anti-fairy, which becomes especially dangerous.
So it looks like they're about 34 seconds apart, something like that. The slug does 4 times as much damage as the bomb explosion.
Yep, bombs are 1 heart of damage.
That's just a normal bomb explosion as far as I know. Just like one of Link's. You're supposed to have the blue mail at this point, which is the first armor upgrade and would cut the damage from all of these things by like 1 or 2 hearts. And you're also supposed to have, I don't know, 4 more heart containers and 2 to 4 fairies and or potions. Like this game, we're skipping every safety in the game for the most part. So everything around here is just like really trying to kill you. And we take a ton of damage in this dungeon. So, like you were saying, it is consistent if you do it right, but you're actually playing it on pretty thin margins.
So, we've got spooky action glitch going on right now, and Spleebie is displacing a fire rod shot, skipping an entire room. Looking good so far.
Yep.
Yeah. We got the Vitreous fight coming up.
Another thematic room where the enemy RNG is totally avoidable if you do the strat correctly, but if you do anything wrong, you just take 1 billion damage.
Mm-hmm.
Good fight from Spleebie.
Vitreous was the champion of the 2021 tournament.
Yeah.
Nice to see Spleebie take him down.
Spleebie unfortunately shoots an extra arrow, which takes him from 13 to 12, which means he's going to actually have to get an extra pot somewhere. Kind of an annoying count to be at.
Ooh. Some tough cleanup for Requiem. Looking like he went a little far to the right on the last spin, perhaps. But took care of it, still getting a 0 cycle. Yo, nice. Quite a nice run for Spleebie.
Within range of PBing for him.
So, not just a dangerous dungeon, but it's also a dangerous overworld. We have to cross way more screens of Death Mountain than is reasonable.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Actually hammering the pegs and menu.
You know, the block timing that can be frustrating. Woo! Okay.
Oh boy.
That's
okay.
tough. This is getting a little scary. This is a tough
Oh my
round.
god. Okay. Whew. Right, Chomp not to aggro. Maybe he was watching it more closely than me, but that was...
Seemed fine to me, but I...
Will we see a safety backdoor from Spleebie?
Doubtful.
He's not far enough ahead that that's actually a good idea.
Pity. Time.
Ahead, maybe it would be a good race strategy.
As first,
Did this runner then die on Trinex and find out the error a little bit? Ice physics are so messed up.
yeah, and then regaining.
You'll hit. That's pretty unfortunate. All right, Ganon is dead for Spleebie. GG's.
GG.
Requiem also fell to a Moldorm, although it was a different one.
Yeah, that was a rough segment.
I had a lot of disasters in that Hera. Yeah, I had quite a few disasters everywhere. I also threw in parts of GT and Ganon, but you know, it was still a fun race. I feel like it was pretty close.
It really was, and you kept catching up after the Hera.
Yeah, I kept looking over, and Requiem was like 6 screens away, and then 5, and then 4, and then it's like, come on.
Yeah, the Hera was a big problem, but then he saved, I think, a good chunk of time. It's a little hard because of shopping, but I think he saved a noticeable chunk in Swamp, and then obviously GT was a lot smoother for Requiem. Yeah, it was really close. I mean, you were both keeping really close to each other's paces throughout the mid game, and then Requiem started biting back in the end game until a little bit of issues on Ganon.
Yeah, missing 2 spins in 4th phase, that kind of hurt. I think one, my sword slash just poked him just on the edge and I couldn't get the spin, and the other I got hit by a fire bat. But yeah, I think I was probably, like, even though Hera and Lanmo were all pretty terrible, I think the thing I was most disappointed by was probably the ice cold stare party.
Oh, right.
I think,
Yep.
Yeah. If not for that, I think that would have been like a high 6-1x. I was kind of happy with the split until the cold stare party.
Yeah, it looked like a solid dungeon otherwise. Yeah, other highlights for you, Requiem?
I actually had the restream open and was looking at points, and I was planning to type in chat when I got the ice palette stair clip. I was just planning to tag Fox and say easy, but I was like, let me wait until after cold stare, and it's a good thing I waited.
Were you watching the restream at all, Requiem, or Spleebie's run?
So I had the tab open. I wasn't looking at it much though. I would just look at points. And so I was looking for like after each light world split, and I decided not to look until the end of Ice Palace. Because I felt very anxious throughout the entire run, and overthinking cost me a bunch of time everywhere.
Right.
I was watching the whole time, and definitely not dashing into spikes instead of paying attention.
That was pretty funny. Yeah.
But yeah, I was watching. I was watching, and I was comparing like the time I was seeing on screen with when Spleebie was catching crystals to my time, and I was like, Spleebie looks like he's on PB pace. Is he gonna PB this race? And then I look over right after Moldorm dies, and I see him entering the stairs from below Moldorm. I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
So
I couldn't.
Go ahead.
Sorry, that Moldorm. I don't think I've ever had that happen, where like I couldn't get in a hit, and he just stayed in a corner and hid.
Yeah, it sucks.
And then I fell. And then the refight, refight, I guess, was also terrible. 3 slashes.
Requiem had I cannot believe you got that second hook shot off on Moldorm 2 before getting hit.
Yeah, that was kind of sketchy, but I was just mashing Y after the first hook shot, so he just got it in.
I can't believe it. I thought he was already overlapping.
Was he like on top of him?
Yeah.
Almost. I'm also kind of disappointed in the Agatu. I feel like I hit almost every energy ball back at him, but I really
think that
got
was
sand.
10 hits. I think you got 10 hits in. I think that was yeah, that was nuts.
Yeah, I want to rewatch that.
I got so many balls in, but I feel the first 3 overlap completely, and that was just 1. And I think in the next phase, I think I got 2 to overlap again, and yeah, I couldn't get the triple because I think he gave me a blue ball phase 3. But then in the 4th phase, I still had to give 2 hits. So I wasn't paying track. I wasn't keeping track. I just given up at that point.
Very reasonable.
And I got another thing I've never seen, which was all 3 Aghanims going to top middle and shooting at the same time. It's like, what am I supposed to do there? Nice one.
Yeah, really gross Agatus on both sides.
Yeah, pretty fun otherwise. I feel like I would have done better if I wasn't in constant anxiety, but you know, hey, that's how it goes.
And
GG's, Spleebie.
How do you all feel about racing as it affects your speedrun attempts? Spleebie.
Actually, I don't know. I haven't done too many NMG races yet, I guess. But this one, like knowing that Requiem was like right on my heels this whole time, like I think was pushing me harder than I usually push myself. Like I had a pretty decent Dark World. Usually I just lose tons of time, but this actually went pretty decently for me until GT and so I think it was the race that helped with that. So that was interesting. But I definitely had good. my heart was pounding going up GT. It was
being on PB pace or like maybe technically not on pace, but you know you have a big chunk of time save in GT. Being on PB pace and on race winning, like poised to win a race at the same time is so stressful. It's unbelievable.
Actually thought it might have been possible for me to PB but also lose which would have been crazy.
Yeah, well, maybe
playing that well.
By that point it wasn't really possible anymore, but yeah.
No, like earlier in the race.
Right.
Yeah, I think if I was on PB pace also during the race, I might have just fainted mid-race. I think even after like Hera, which was a disaster of a split, I still felt extreme like anxiety just going for every single split that was past that. In fact, the only split where I didn't feel that was GT, because at that point I'd resigned myself like, okay, well, I don't think I'm gonna go anywhere. Let's just have a good GT. But yeah.
Yeah.
Exciting race. Thank you both for running it. Fun to do commentary with you, Fox.
Yeah, always a good time.
Yeah, thanks for the commentary. It was fun listening.
Yeah, thanks for the commentary. I'll probably go back and listen to it since I didn't before. And yeah, thanks for the race, Spleebie. Pretty fun.
Yeah, thanks, GG's. I might have to watch this too, because I was listening to commentary and typing what you were doing much of, so.
All right, well, anybody have any last words before we throw this back to ZSR to wrap things up? All right, good. GG's. Have a good night, everyone.
All right, cool. Thanks so much, everyone. GG's to the runners and the commentators. That was a very fun and close match. So we've got, looks like tomorrow, another NMG League Dark World Round 3. And it's a double feature. It's going to be Ray versus Relkin and Humba versus Fox. So that'll be pretty fun. Definitely stick around tomorrow. We don't have a channel for that yet. So just keep an eye out and we'll figure that out later. And thanks so much, everyone.